I'd like to talk to you not as an astrologer for a second, but as someone who is feeling this too. Because if you're like me, and you've been feeling emotional, frustrated, restless, or stuck in that strange place between wanting to move forward but not being able to fully access it, I want to reassure you that you're not doing life wrong. And this Aries new moon is not just about action, it's about something much deeper. It's about what happens when your soul is ready to take up space, but your nervous system is still remembering why it wasn't safe to. And this is the tension that we're all in right now. So let me start here. This new moon in Aries is conjunct Chiron, and it's squaring Pluto. In evolutionary astrology terms, that immediately tells me something extremely important. This is not surface level new beginning. This is a deep confrontation with identity wounds. This is confronting the parts of yourself that learned if I fully show up as myself, something could happen. Rejection, conflict, loss of connection, loss of safety. So what's getting activated now isn't just about motivation, it's vulnerability. And sometimes even emotional memory. And it's not just about what's happening in the present, but what your nervous system is remembering about the past. Mars rules this new moon, and Mars is now in Aries, its home sign. So part of you might be thinking, I should be moving. I should be clear. I should be acting. I hate shoulds, by the way. But instead, many people are feeling blocked, frustrated, like something just isn't aligning yet. And that's not random. Mars is still conjunct Neptune and Saturn. So action is being slowed down, filtered, and pressured. Mars is also in a balsamic phase to Saturn, which in EA terms is very important. This is a closing cycle. This is not about forcing forward movement. This is about letting go of the version of you that cannot come with you into the future that you want for yourself. That version of you that waits for permission, that second guesses what you want, that shrinks or censors yourself to stay safe, or the one that overrides their needs to maintain a certain level of peace. That version of you was adaptive, but it doesn't have to be the one leading your life anymore. And I'd like to share something a little personal here too, because I've been feeling this very directly. I have natal Mars in Aries, so transits like this don't just feel theoretical for me, they land in my body. And even with everything that I know, even understanding the astrology and all my therapeutic tools, I've still had moments very recently where I've felt this same tension. Like I should be able to move forward, but something in me feels slowed down, saturated, or like I'm being asked to pause in a way that I didn't choose. And I keep coming back to this. It's not that I'm blocked, it's that something in me is still completing. And I share this with you because if you're feeling this way too, I want to reassure you that you're not behind. You're actually right on time with the process. Because Chiron is involved, what's coming up isn't just frustration. This is wound material. It's the emotional imprint of past experiences where being fully yourself didn't feel safe. And Pluto in the mix doesn't let us bypass it. Pluto won't allow avoidance. It asks for honesty. It asks for depth. And it asks us to stop performing our way through discomfort and actually feel what's underneath it. As I've said, from an evolutionary astrology perspective, nothing about this is random. This is your soul encountering a pattern it has lived before. And while it might feel like life is punishing you, these energies are here to evolve you. So if those old feelings are resurfacing, old fears, old reactions, it's not necessarily regression. It's unconscious emotional material becoming conscious, so it can finally change. I do feel that there is support here from the lunar nodes because the South Node in Virgo speaks to those old patterns. You know, those overanalyzing, overcorrecting, overmanaging the environment, trying to get everything right before acting. And the North Node in Pisces is asking for trust, surrender, connecting to your intuition, and allowing something greater to guide the next step. So this lunation is actually helping you release the need to perfect your way into safety, and instead to begin to feel your way forward, honestly. Another layer of support is Uranus in Taurus. It's in a semi-sextile to the new moon. This is a subtle aspect, but it's meaningful. It's the energy of small breakthroughs, quiet disruptions. It's the aha realizations that say, I don't have to keep doing it this way. Venus is in Taurus and is currently very active, moving into a balsamic phase with Uranus, and in a last quarter dynamic with Jupiter in Cancer. This means your needs are not staying quiet, and your emotional truth cannot be contained anymore. Something in you is renegotiating what matters, what you need, and what you will no longer override to stay comfortable. So, how do we actually work with these energies? I'd like to bring in my Thrivuary method. It's a way of moving through this emotional intensity without bypassing it or being consumed by it. The first phase is the observer, and it's where we do just that. We observe. And you pause long enough to ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Not the story that you've had to perpetuate, not the interpretation that your mind tries to create. It's the raw emotional truth: anger, fear, sadness, frustration, and grief. Because the moment you observe it, you are no longer fully inside it. You are creating space, and that space is power. Then we become the architect, where we ask deeper questions. Where have I felt this before? What did I learn I had to do to stay safe? What version of me was built in response to that environment? This is where Mars Saturn is becoming conscious. You're beginning to see the structure of the pattern. And it's not about judging it. It's about recognizing that it's no longer the only option. And then actively reframing those stories that you tell yourself. When you move into the alchemist phase, this is where transformation really takes place. You really begin to ask yourself, what do I need right now? What do I really want? And what would it look like to not abandon myself in this situation and stay grounded and embodied? And then when it feels right, you act from that place, not from urgency or fear, but from alignment. And this is where Saturn becomes so important in this lunation, because Saturn isn't here to just restrict Mars. It's here to mature it, to help you hold your desire without abandoning yourself, to help you act without impulsivity, but also without suppression. This is emotional responsibility. It's not about control or shutting yourself down. It's about being present. Jupiter in Cancer has already been expanding our emotional capacities. And you have been growing, even if it hasn't felt linear, and even if it hasn't felt obvious. So this new moon now is asking, can you use that capacity? Can you act from the place that you've grown into, not from the place you came from? The real initiation of this new moon is not just about starting something new. It's about stopping something old. Stopping when you override yourself. Stopping when you shrink your needs. And stopping when you abandon yourself in spaces to make others comfortable. And instead, you begin to hold yourself differently, more honestly, more fully, and more you. And you don't have to rush this. You don't have to force this. But you also don't have to disappear inside it. You are allowed to take up space. And this time, you get to do it without leaving yourself behind. If this is landing for you, just take a moment after this video to sit with what came up. Don't rush to figure it out, just notice it. And if you want to go deeper into these cycles with me, you can find me at astrokara.com. The link is in the description. And until next time, take good care of you.